Hey everyone, happy Wednesday. Jo here of SportsGrid. It's time for a puck up with Jo. It's going to be a phenomenal night of hockey out there on the ice. I can hardly wait for this Eastern Conference to kick off. Of course, the Western Conference will get its start tomorrow night on Thursday, but this one here in the East, I tell you, this is going to be the best series I expect out of the two. And I do think these two teams are so deserving to make it to the Stanley Cup Finals. It'll be great to see which team is able to do so. Now, I've got a couple things I'm liking for the series as a whole. I do think this one is going to go deep. I think it's going to go all the way to 7. Taking the series to 7 is coming in at plus 198. I also think there's some playmakers that you can really circle in this series to be able to come out nice and strong. Now, while we've got elite goaltending on both sides, I do think we're going to see a couple of these playmakers really come to life. Sam Reinhart has been phenomenally strong for the Florida Panthers, especially on the power play. I'm going to take him for the 3+ goals over the course of this series. Let me just pull up odds for that. I have them in my notes. I can't remember them off the top of my head. Sam Reinhart for the 3+ goals during the series is coming in at minus 115. Now, if you like Panarin of the New York Rangers, I do think he's really solid here. I'm expecting more assists out of him. We know he's able to get those goals on the board, though. He's been absolutely phenomenally strong. His 3+ is at plus 115. I'm going to have more faith in Chris Kreider. Chris Kreider of the New York Rangers coming out here. 3+ goals during the course of the series is plus 145. You guys know I love the odds and the value and that plus money. Now, I do think we're in for some overtimes. These two teams, goaltending wise, Bobrovsky versus Igor Shesterkin. Then we look at these defenses. The Florida Panthers, so strong defensively at limiting their opponent's ability to get these shots on goal, really giving Bobrovsky the support. Both teams offensively so phenomenally strong, and people knock the New York Rangers saying their 5-on-5 metrics aren't as strong as the Florida Panthers. And yes, I do give the Panthers a slight edge, but you look at the kill and the power play here of the New York Rangers. If the Florida Panthers find themselves in the box, you're going to see that conversion by the Rangers. They're so strong, and they're also so strong on that kill. On that kill, this team has been able to score 4 shorthanders. So I think there's value here in looking at the Rangers in the first game. I'm going to take them in the first game, but I'm going to look at the overtime games here. 2+ overtime matchups throughout this series is coming in at plus 165. 100% sign me up. 3+ is plus 750. I can't get past the value. I do think game 1 could go to overtime. Game 2 could go to overtime. We could even see game 3, the first 3 games going into OT, and that would cash at plus 750. And I do think this series has the opportunity of going all the way to 7. So I'm willing to take the 3+ overtimes. I am taking the 2+ overtimes during the series as well. Now, I got another bet in. It's Igor Shesterkin bet for his shutouts. I just can't remember the odds. Igor to record at least one shutout is coming in at plus 205. He's got a 2.40 goals against average and a 923 save percentage. So I love Igor for his ability to get a shutout. Like, I do think there's a couple of these games that are 1-0, 2-0 as well, with the possibility there. Bobrovsky, the books have more faith in him recording the shutout. That's coming in at 1+ shutouts for Bobrovsky at plus 154. I do think one of these goaltenders is in for it. This one to finish in 7 is coming in at plus 198. I've hit that. Could we see it end in 6? We could. That's getting really scary with those overtime bets. So if you're taking them for the course of the series to end in 6, this is plus 194. So if you want to split those, I completely get that. I think that was it for my series bets. But looking at these teams as a whole, you're looking for the Dallas Stars and the New York Rangers for the Cup. I love it. I love where you're going. Rested Rangers teams should come in strong in the first period. And the Florida Panthers, we saw their struggles in the last round in that matchup versus the Boston Bruins in that first game. They came out rusty instead of rested. Now, I think they're going to be better prepared coming into this one facing the New York Rangers. They know that they can't let this first game slip. They also know they have to stay disciplined and stay out of the box. They've got a really strong forecheck here, and they're able to get that traffic in front of the net. When we look at a player who I really do think has such a strong in front of the net presence, it is Chris Kreider for the New York Rangers. He's able to just stand in front and wait for that puck to come his way. So looking at him, and that's why I'm looking for him for those goals during the course of this series, because I do think there's some puck luck in these games where one of these goaltenders just doesn't see that long shot, and Chris Kreider is there for the rebound on it. Now, Alexander Barkov is one of the best behind the net, and I do think his ability in this game to set Matthew Tkachuk up or Sam Reinhart up is going to be phenomenal. I think Barkov, I'd look at his assists. He has 5 goals and 8 assists during the course of the playoffs here. And Sam Reinhart has 5 goals and 4 assists, and Reinhart has 57 goals in the regular season. So Reinhart is the one I'm circling. And I know Matthew Tkachuk is phenomenal. Matthew Tkachuk has 14 points over the playoffs here, with 4 of those being goals, the rest being assists. I do think Matthew Tkachuk's so strong as well. And then you got Sam Bennett and Verhaeghe. The Florida Panthers are loaded, but so are the New York Rangers. Panarin, Chris Kreider, Zibanejad, Trouba there, and Trocheck. So we're going to have phenomenal play. Now, offensive defensemen. I love to circle these guys. You got to look at Brandon Montour for the Florida Panthers and Adam Fox for the New York Rangers. These two are going to play pivotal, huge roles for their teams out there. If you want to look at either for those anytime goals, the plus money is going to be ridiculous, especially on Brandon Montour. He doesn't get as much respect as Adam Fox does. These goals are going to be hard to come by in a lot of these games, you guys, but I do think the main playmakers will get them. It's going to be a phenomenal series. So in game 1 of this series, I am looking for the New York Rangers to come out phenomenally strong. I'm taking the New York Rangers straight up on the money line at -110. I'm also going to take the over 5.5. And I know that's kind of conjecturary of these goaltenders being so strong, but we look at these teams coming out after having some rest, and I do think we go over the 5.5 in the first game. Could this be a 3-3 going to overtime? Absolutely, it could. Now, Sam Reinhart for the anytime goals coming in at +155, and that's who I would look to isolate from the Florida Panthers. And I'm going to go with Chris Kreider, the New York Rangers tonight at +200. You guys, this is going to be fantastic hockey. Bobrovsky rolling in here with a 2.37 goals against average and a 902 save percentage, if I can talk. That's what I'm going with. Let me know what you guys are liking tonight. I'm excited too. You're liking the under 26 for the New York Rangers. You're going with the Stars. You guys, it's going to be a fantastic night out there on the ice. Let's just see if we've got any goalie props yet in this one. We didn't before we kicked off the show here. Goalie props, we're looking at Igor Shesterkin over 28.5 at -130. And we're looking at Bobrovsky over 24.5 at -125. I do think in this first game, those shots and I would stay off them. I think both goaltenders have the opportunity of going over them, except Bobrovsky will have limited shots because the Florida Panthers defense will come out sounder. This team really does limit the opponent's ability. I think they're holding teams to right around that 22-23 mark. The Rangers should come out strong and firing, but I'm not willing to take that. If I was going to take either, it would be Igor Shesterkin. Now that is juiced at -130. I do trust the Florida Panthers offensively more than I do the New York Rangers, of course. But yeah, Igor would be that. So you guys, that's it. Join me on Game Time Decisions after this, right at 6:14 Eastern. I'll be on at 6:14 and 7:14 Eastern. We'll be talking NHL in the first or the second segment, NHL in the second. So vice versa. You guys, all the best. Vegas books are juicing the Panthers shots on goal. Yeah, the shots on goal definitely will be juiced in this series, and that's how I would be looking at a lot of these. The first game here, I do think those goals come in, and I think those goals come in fast in this game, but otherwise, you're going to have to start looking at those shots because it's going to be hard. Now, remember, the Florida Panthers really are strong at limiting those shots. So if you're looking at Ranger props over the course of the series, I'd be looking at the goal makers over the shots because those shots are going to be hard to come by. The Florida Panthers will get those blocked ones, but the New York Rangers are doing a better job. What they were able to do versus Carolina, they allowed those shots to come in. Again, Igor stood on his head. So it'll be an interesting series, that's for sure. You guys, all the best in all of your bets. Enjoy this action. It's not going to disappoint. We'll talk to you tomorrow.